I'm back.
Guess who's back?
Hey friends, I am back after a long time of not making solo videos, and I'm in a new location. I didn't move or anything. I just thought I'd bring you my big book thoughts in front of my big dreamy bookshelf. If you're new here, my name is Lauren and I co-run this channel with my best friend Randy. We are big Six of Crows fans, hence the name. And I think we've both been a bit off the grid this summer, probably me especially. But guys, I cannot hold off any longer telling you about House Across the Lake by Riley Sager. I have feelings. To give you some context, I was previously a Riley Sager fan. Randy and I used to co-run a book club, and Survive the Night was a book that we read together as a group. And right from the get-go, we had kind of conflicting feelings about it. I was on the edge of my seat the whole time, and Randy was skeptical. I feel like skeptical is probably Randy's baseline. I've done a lot of reflecting, and I'm wondering if maybe I just am not very smart. Jury's out. Yet to be seen. As well as Survive the Night, I also found a really good copy of Lock Every Door by Riley Sager at the thrift store for $3. So I took a chance and I really liked that one too. I pretty much decided at that point in time that I would be auto buying Riley Sager novels because I love thrillers. It's like right up my alley. I had faith. I shouldn't have had faith. So enter House Across the Lake. It is 349 pages, and it is the third of his books that I've read. I took it with me on a weekend trip to my family's cabin at the lake because I thought it would be thematically appropriate. To give you a vibe for the plot, our main character Casey is a recent-ish widower and also a former actress, and she has a drinking problem, so she goes to her family's lake to basically sober up and self-reflect. This is a very, very classic thriller trope, I feel like. Unreliable, drunk narrator character witnesses something insidious or that they think is insidious from just basically spying on neighbors, friends, whatever else. But can we trust her? She's just a drunk. She's also a woman.
It's not right for a woman to
witness a crime.
Soon she starts getting ideas and thinking.
To the point where in 2022, Netflix released a satirical show all about this trope called The Woman Across the Street from the Woman in the Window, starring Kristen Bell. It's actually quite good and like a really funny look at this particular thriller mechanism. Anyway, our main character Casey is out on the lake one day when she finds her neighbor, affluent, hot former model Catherine, face down in the water. Dead-ish, dead adjacent. She saves Catherine from what seems like certain death, and they become quick friends. An important element to note, because Catherine is this former model and she's frequently described as being like so naturally beautiful and just effortless, there's some kind of element here of Casey developing a bit of an obsession with this woman who she's really just met. There's like a, why are you so obsessed with me kind of vibe happening. And this proceeds as Casey is trying to uncover the truth as the story unfolds. Shortly thereafter, Casey is creeping Catherine across the lake. Catherine and her husband Tom, who's this hotshot app developer, live in this house that faces, the backside faces the water, and it's like fully glass. New tattoo, by the way. It's basically like a dollhouse. So Casey is watching them one night, and I'm thinking, Casey, just play The Sims like a normal person. And one night she sees what she thinks is an argument, and then the following morning when she's hungover, she thinks that she hears a scream from across the lake. Suddenly, Catherine is gone back to New York, and Casey doesn't buy it. She's totally suspicious right out the gate. This scream is eventually corroborated by Casey's same lakeside neighbor, Boone. And Casey and Boone start playing detective as they try to figure out what happened to Catherine. Going forward, I am going to plop spoilers in here, but before you dip, if this sounds interesting to you, I think that it's important that you know that at this point in the book, it was interesting to me as well. Go in with your bar low. Go in with your bar at the bottom of the lake. It still seemed very interesting to me. There was some police involvement. There are some unresolved murders that have been happening around this lake that the kind of local police detachment is dealing with, and things are mysterious. They feel very like sneaky, and everything feels like this place isn't safe. Read the remaining 40% of this book with caution. Okay, so spoilers ahead, I warned you. Maybe you're here because you already read this book that Riley Sager and frankly God obviously forsook, but let's talk about Boone first. Hot but personalityless Boone. Boone is lazy writing. Boone exists solely to be a red herring with legs. Boone is inserted into the story as another widower that can kind of commiserate with Casey. He lost his wife in a similar-ish fashion at this same lake. He also had a drinking problem. So they have these things that they kind of connect on. But the story, I can't even stress enough, it would be exactly the same if Boone were in the book or not in the book. Useless character development. One sort of important tie is that he is a former cop, and so he has a little bit of a tie to the cop that is currently investigating the other murders that have been happening around the lake. Otherwise, doesn't serve the plot at all. Wouldn't miss him if he was gone. Speaking of plot, my biggest issue with this book is that we spend the first several hundred pages with no indication, no inkling that there's going to be a supernatural element to this book at all. Don't get me wrong, I'm a sucker for good magical realism, but you gotta warm me up. You gotta warm a girl up. The story proceeds along the lines of a normal thriller. Casey breaks into Tom and Catherine's house to see if she can uncover any clues as to where Catherine might have went. She finds her cell phone still there in an underwear drawer. While that is happening, she also sees that Catherine is posting as if she's back in New York, which is obviously Tom's way of covering up the fact that he's still got her here. So Tom is looking like the prime suspect at this point. She continues to try to mount evidence against Tom and in her favor, so she has something to bring to the police. And she's digging and frankly being a little bit obsessive about it, but it still at this point feels like a regular thriller novel. Normal life, no weird elements of supernatural activity, totally normal thriller book. Meanwhile, her relationship is beginning to deepen with Boone. She starts to maybe think that he might have something to do with it, and she's hot and cold with him, doesn't trust if he's maybe the murderer, or if she's just hot for him, or if he maybe killed his own wife. It's all just filler, I guess. An important thing to note on the Boone's wife is dead, Catherine's husband's dead thing is that Boone's wife fell down a flight of stairs and Catherine's husband drowned in the lake. It seems like they're both in desperate need of therapy instead of a lakeside Nancy Drew experience. Anyway, the big plot twist in this book is revealed when the story comes to its big dramatic climax. Casey suspects that Tom has Catherine locked up in a basement in some empty lot on their side of the lake. And she's right. Only guess the heck what? It's not actually Catherine. Catherine is actually Casey's dead husband, but in Catherine's body. Oh, it makes me so angry. Apparently, Catherine is a skin shell on top of Len, Casey's dead husband. I guess Len possessed her body, her corpse from the lake. Jail. Immediately straight to jail. No bail. Jail. Jail.
What?
I don't know if I've ever been so mad reading a book in my whole life. You're telling me that I'm supposed to believe that the first 80% of this book is a regular run-of-the-mill thriller, whodunit, murder, intrigue, people are dying at the lake, and then wham, dead husband possession. No. Tom then leaves Casey and Catherine-ish, pseudo-Catherine, I guess, alone, and we find out, we get double whammied by Riley Sager, that Casey actually killed her husband Len because Len is the one who's been killing people all around the lake. So Casey found out, murdered her husband by drowning him in the lake. We're supposed to believe that nobody investigated that and that he just drowned going fishing one morning, because who would ever suspect little old Casey? Bullshit. I hate it. No, I'm sorry. I don't accept it. I don't. If I shake the book hard enough, maybe it'll just disappear like an Etch-a-Sketch and we'll get a different ending. Who gave Riley Sager permission to do this? And I can almost hear you guys saying now, but Lauren, that's so unexpected. What a good twist. No! You can't just do whatever you damn want. Make it make sense, Riley Sager. The lore of this book that you're supposed to just buy into is that if someone almost dies, that someone who's already died in the lake can take possession of their almost dead corpse? What? How does this work? Do you have to just nearly die? At what point in time do your organs stop working and the magic doesn't make sense anymore? Is there a 5-second rule? Unbelievable. We find out shortly after this big dramatic reveal that Tom was in fact planning to kill Catherine. She had a lot of money wrapped up that he would have a lot of access to once she passed. If you were Tom and you found your wife washed up on the shore, after a near-death experience, and she's like, just kidding, I'm not actually your wife. Like, why wouldn't you take care of it? He doesn't have any emotional attachment to her. He had already planned to murder her. Like, why would you keep her once you find out that she's somebody else tucked away in her body? Like, it just doesn't make any sense. Also, where does this leave the real Catherine? Is she still down at the bottom of the lake? How many people are down there? I don't understand the science of this book. Why is there a bizarre, frankly half-baked magical mechanic that I'm supposed to just believe hundreds of pages into the book? And the worst part of this book, frankly, is that it confronts me to ask myself if any of Riley Sager's books are any good. Are they as creative and winding and suspenseful as I even thought? I'm leaning towards no. Was the ending of Survive the Night kind of a throwaway weird plot twist too? Same with Lock Every Door. I am suspicious. I think that Riley Sager does a really great job of building tension in the opening acts of his novels. But for what I'm starting to see is a lazy and poor payoff. In an ideal world, I would like to get to the... Shut up, Rowdy. It's Thursday. I forgot my HelloFresh box just got here. And now I'm out of breath. HelloFresh, give me a brand deal. Just give me a brand deal. I'll tell my 88 subscribers that I like HelloFresh. In an ideal thriller book, I want to get to the big suspenseful moment and have this oh moment and have to weave my way back through the previous chapters to see where they might have foreshadowed that. I have no patience anymore for a twist that is so out of left field that it doesn't make any sense. This book has made me very angry. I feel bamboozled and honestly like my time has been wasted. I gave this one 2 stars at the time, but I think that I would even deflate that a bit to 1.5 for being gripping, I guess, through the first half of the book, but at what cost? I think I might give Riley Sager another try just for science, but I won't be spending any money on his books anymore. I'm mad. What has your experience been with Riley Sager? Do you like his books? Do you have any other better thrillers that you suspect I might like? Requirements include 1, it being suspenseful, and 2, it making sense. That's it. The bar is low. Comment below, and if you liked this video, consider liking and subscribing. Believe it or not, every like equals 1 soul freed from the bottom of Riley Sager's imaginary lake. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you again next time. Love you. Bye.